Derek Carr has been released by the Las Vegas Raiders, and this situation has played out exactly as I told you it would play out.
You're right.
This was a game of chicken because while the Raiders basically sent Carr home for the last 2 weeks of the regular season, it was also incumbent upon them to cut him by tomorrow because it will save them $41 million. So now they're off the hook for that, and also their cap hit for next year for him is only $5 million, which now gives them $30 million in cap space, Joe. So this comes to a logical conclusion. The only question now is, where does Derek Carr end up playing next year? Because only the Saints were interested in trading for him, but that's just because teams knew they were not going to have to deal with the Raiders.
Yes. So what is Derek Carr on the open market? Of the free agents that are out there, Jimmy Garoppolo is one of them with the San Francisco 49ers. We also know that things can get interesting with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Could they franchise tag him? Yeah, but they also risk the possibility of Lamar Jackson not playing football next year if they franchise tag him. So do they trade him? I don't know. We shall see. So it's going to be a really interesting quarterback shuffle this offseason. And if we know one thing about David Tepper, he has swung for the fences on prized quarterbacks. He was trying to get in on Matt Stafford. He ends up in L.A. He wins a Super Bowl. He wanted in on Deshaun Watson. Of course, we know how that played out, and he gets a guaranteed contract with the Cleveland Browns. Do they go in the Derek Carr direction to get a couple years out of him, or do they go for another bridge quarterback like a Jacoby Brissett, who has some familiarity with Frank Reich, the new head coach? Another thing to keep in mind with the Carolina Panthers is they announced today as they complete their staff, Jim Caldwell has joined the staff as like a senior special assistant. He's going to be involved with all aspects of the game, both offensive, defense, and special teams. And I bring this up because go look at the staff that Frank Reich is putting together as the head coach of the Panthers versus the staff that Matt Rule was trying to put together as a rookie head coach in the NFL. And I said this from the jump with the Carolina Panthers and the direction they were going to go in and why it made sense to hire Frank Reich. You go in the opposite direction of who you just fired. So that upstart college hot name, no, not this go-round. I need a guy who's seen a few things, and I need to bring some veteran stability. And you go look at that coaching staff, and with the addition of Jim Caldwell, makes total sense. I'm not saying that it's a recipe for success. I'm just saying this is playing out exactly as it typically does in the NFL. You just go and hire the opposite kind of regime that you just fired. So good for David Tepper for really sealing the deal on the kind of staff you can get by adding Jim Caldwell.
Always good to have people around who've done it before, too.
Yes. Jim Caldwell's a good coach.
You look at, and now Frank Reich's 62, so it's not like he needs anyone's help at this point. But it's always good to have people who've done it before, who've sat in your chair and understand what you're going through. And obviously Matt Rule never did that.
Weird. You think maybe he wanted to do that, but he'll be fine in Nebraska.